my bunch of misfits. How are we all doing on this beautiful, cold, misty, sunny Thursday? So, as you well know, obviously a few days ago, Paul interviewed me on how I got into all of this. And guess what is today? It's my turn to interview Paul. So, and I will be asking him questions and I will be putting him on the spot. Thank you, my darling. There we go. I look real posh now, don't I? Right, I hope you can still see me. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go straight in and I'm going to ask the questions. So, you ready?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm ready.
First question is, how did you get into the paranormal?
Well, I think it started when I was very young. I won't go into too much details on that, but when I was at, you could say it was like a children's home boarding school. I was very young at the time, say about the age of 6. And I ended up in the sick bay at the school, and on that very night, because I had a heavy fever and I wasn't quite with it, but I managed to sort of, well, I think I did, get out of bed, and when I looked out the window, because obviously where the sick bay was, it was looking out onto the church over the way, and I actually witnessed my own funeral. It might sound weird, but I actually witnessed my own funeral.
Oh, wow.
And that at that age, it sort of got the better of me, and I didn't really think much of it. But down at a place called Bretford near Coventry, every year there used to be a Romany gypsy that used to come down the village with what's called the horse and carriage, and she used to sell the pegs and all that. And I remember her talking to me when I was about 8 years of age, and she just said to me before she left, said, "You've got a special gift. You'll know what it is when you start using it." And I didn't know, I didn't know what she was on about. But gradually, it started coming towards me. Then that I could sense things around me. There's another one that I was at Brownsover one night, and I'd gone to bed and all that, and about 12:30, something like that, I was woken up, and I could see something flying above my head, and I think that really got me then, and I thought, I want to seek out what this is, and I think that's what most paranormal investigators want to do when they get their first experience. You want to go forward to find all this out.
Yeah.
And with this gift that I've got, I'm very privileged with it, because not many people have it, and that. And when you're given something like this, it's something you cherish.
Absolutely.
And it's something that can help people.
Okay. So, when did you actually realise, and when did you actually accept, and how did it progress into becoming a medium? How did you actually accept, and what did you do, what did you feel, and how generally just how was it, when you actually found how you had the ability and that you could sense things and see things? What was that like for you?
I think that came about because I was about 16, and I was in this building, and I think that's when I accepted what I was, because there was only me in this building. It was like an old building, and I just sat on this chair for some reason, gathering my thoughts and that. But then these things started coming towards me, like spirits and stuff, and then I knew that this was a destiny for me as a medium, and to accept it, I had to go through that process, of saying, right, this is how you've got to do it. and put yourself forward. And I think the main thing that I accepted to be a medium was that many years down the line, I was just sitting in this other place. It was a flat, and things had been happening in this flat, and nobody could explain. But then I sat there, and all of a sudden, it can be explained because a little lad named Daniel came forward, and he sort of latched onto me, and that's when I knew that I had this calling of being a medium. I wanted to help this lad. I got to know his story and everything. And Daniel now, he does come to me now and again. He's my spirit guide, and he's there if I need to use him. So yeah, I mean, my true calling now is, as I say, as a medium. I've accepted it. I never got to say thank you to that Romany gypsy, because after that year we never seen her again. They would go back to Ireland, so she might have passed away. We don't know. It was a shame, but I owe her so much in life, for making me the person I am.
Amazing.
And giving me that gift.
So, touching up on that subject with your spirit guide, obviously his name's Daniel. Just give a bit of brief to actually, in a way, what does he do? Is he with you all the time? Does he protect you certain times? Because some people will think, well, what does a spirit guide do?
Okay, and with a spirit guide, I mean with Daniel, if I'm put into that sort of area where it's a danger area, then Daniel will come forward. It's not to actually, how can I put it, to fight against them, but he'll be there as my protector then. And sometimes Daniel will pick up on things and let me know. That sounds weird, I know. But he's also there when you're feeling a bit drained. He'll take it on for you as well. With spirit guides, we've all got one. It could be, a person, it could be an animal, it could be a loved one, it could be anything. They're out there, and that.
I suppose it's just people accepting that
Yeah,
they've got one and believing that
that's
they've
right.
got one. Yeah.
And I've had Daniel now many years with me. I don't use him as much now because I'm a bit stronger with myself. But back then, all the stuff I was going through with the mental health and that, I needed Daniel to be there.
Right.
And that, but he's there when I need him. I know he's in the flat with me, and that, because I can sense him. But it doesn't bother me because he's okay. And that.
Awesome. So another thing as well with this mediumship and everything, does it ever frighten you, or can you go somewhere without anyone saying anything? I know we've done investigations together and we've been to places, and as you know, I haven't told you anything about this.
Yeah.
But your everyday today life, can you go somewhere or walk into somewhere and straight away pick up on something, or does it take, and what the spirits actually, in a way that they communicate with you, silly question, do they stand there and look at you and suss you out, or do they want to speak? How do they sort of like communicate with you as a medium?
Okay, on that subject, we're different to investigators because obviously we've got the spiritual side.
Yeah.
It's not that we go to church every day, and it's not that we don't believe it, because we do use the Lord's Prayer, but with mediums we're completely different. Say that if I go into a new build and a house, I probably wouldn't feel anything.
Right.
Because it's a new build.
Yeah.
But staying in the old buildings, like shops or anywhere like that, I do sense things. I mean, I can go into Asda and probably I can sense something not right, because there's somebody, walking around who is a spirit. And things don't frighten me. I think it's something that has never frightened me as a medium, because I need to know these people's stories.
Yeah.
Need to know if they've crossed over, if they need help, because we all know that we leave our body when we die, and the spirits can be trapped wherever, and that. And going on the subject, have I ever had any frightening encounters? I've had a few.
That was going to be my next question. You can read my mind.
Um, but with that, if it's something really bad, we will take it on. I mean, we have the right to shut down investigations. That's our main job as well, to protect the people who are with us.
Many of you've shut me down on.
And to make sure that person's right. And the trouble is, you might not see it straight away with the medium, but we do get drained. So we might go back home and take a couple of days away from it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just to recharge ourselves. So now you're probably going to ask, how do I recharge myself? And not a lot of people know this with some mediums. We take everything what we've done and we put that aside, and to recharge ourselves and regenerate ourselves, we go into a spiritual realm. I do, where I do the spiritual prayer and the protection prayer, and then basically after a couple of days doing all that, my batches are back to normal and I'm ready to go again. I know somebody said to me some time ago, would you ever do a marathon investigation by doing one every night? No. The reason doing that, it would really screw you up, because it would drain you so much you'd have to walk away from the paranormal, and it could take some time to recover.
Right. Awesome. Cool.
I will say more on that, because I went to a pub and I got quite emotional when I went to this pub on my own, and that was on the outside, but I did the investigation, and before I knew Joe, I actually went to this pub, as I said, and when I got back that night, it drained me so much that I took a back seat for a long while as a medium, because it just drained me. But thankfully now I'm back on form, I'm loving it.
Good,
again.
good. Do you think if someone said to you or came up to you, I think I'm a medium, or I want to learn how to become a medium, is it something you can train somebody to be, or is it just that they've got to have that ability? Because since being with you and working with you, I've started to sense things that I never thought I could.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny how to become one, whatever. It's like how to become an investigator, which we know is easy enough if you do it the right way. And with being a medium, you probably didn't know this, Joe, but I could pass that gift on to you.
That would be nice.
And I think I've passed half of it on to you anyway. And that's what most mediums would do. Pardon me, when you come to a certain part in your life.
Too many Weetabix this morning, sorry guys.
And you can pass it on to the next person. It's up to you. It's your gift. It's been given to you. So you can hand it down to the person you feel that needs it.
So do you think I'd make a good medium then?
I think you would, yeah. You've got the right ability as an investigator. You've come a long way. But anybody, if you need to be a medium, you can't just say it. You've got to go through the spiritual part of it in life.
Yeah.
You've got to learn that part before you can go any further.
And what part would that be? What sort of...
It's basically, there is churches out there called spiritual churches. Don't bother with them unless you want to. But you can do it on, you can go through the spiritual prayers and stuff like that. If you feel like you're sensing something, you've got it that way. And it's just pushing forward to become a medium. There is mediums, there is psychics, and all them. I know people say, oh, he's a psychic. No, I'm not, I'm a medium. There's slightly difference.
So that goes on to my next question then.
Yeah.
What is actually the difference between a medium and a psychic?
A lot of the psychics, they'll do like readings.
Oh, so like tarot cards and stuff,
and
right?
they go into that. Where the mediums don't, they just go into the investigations.
Okay.
I mean, if you ever see me sitting there with Joe doing the investigations, get the tarots out, get worried. But no, joking about. I mean,
Put a hex on you.
I've never done that with the cards. I would never know how to go forward with that. I know people.
I've got tarot cards. I can do tarot reading.
I know some people have said to me, "You do readings off photos." I have done. I have sensed things off photos, you know, and I've helped a lot of people over that. They've given me the photo. They've let me to deal with it. And now someone's going to say, "Well, how did you do it off a photo?" The first thing I do is when I get the photo, I don't know the names of them on this photo. She's just handed me that photo and she wants to know what I can get through. She's told me a little bit about what she's had through. So my first thing is I look at the photo and then I put my hand over the photo. That's to draw the energy off that photo. And then I know who the person is that I need to contact and find out. So that's one thing as a medium I do. And people might say, well, he's a psychic. Well, no, it's what I do from that photo.
So there you go, folks. That's answered one question. Now,
I'm going to get bombarded by PMs tonight now. Here's a photo.
Here's a photo, yeah. So, does actually being a medium, can it have an effect on you? Do you sometimes think to yourself, why have I got this gift? Why was I given it? Why? And has there been anywhere where you've been that you think, this is where I don't want to be a medium, whether you've had a negative spirit, whether you've done investigation on your own, or, you know, have you actually had to battle and think to yourself, you know, this isn't for me at any time?
Not really, no. I mean, I love all investigations. Every one I go to is a different one and a different challenge. And you might have seen me on some of the investigations where I have got riled up with a spirit, because, you know, you're not going to dominate me, you're not going to dominate anybody, you know, but nothing phases me, you know. I mean, if you stuck me in a room then and it's been, 450 odd spirits in there, I wouldn't run out. I'll try and communicate with at least half of them spirits.
Yeah.
Because that's me, you know, and when people talk to me, they say, oh, what are you doing next? Well, I want to get out there again. Have you got anything? You know, and I'm telling people, asking them if they've got anything.
And how do people actually, when you actually say to them what you are, how do they take to that? How do they react?
Some react okay with it. They're interested. They want to know a bit more. But then I get some that just look at you and say, is he off his rocker? What's he on about? And I find that more with the older generation than I do the younger generation. And it might surprise you, because if it is older generations would have known about these things over the years, but they don't like you saying it. Some time ago I was telling Joe this and Richard that I was at this place and I said who I was, and this woman, she basically says, oh, you just raise the dead up. No, love.
I remember you saying about that, yeah.
I said, we don't raise the dead up. And I tried to explain to her, but the look of thunder on her face would say, well, just back away, Paul. This woman is thinking that you're going to raise the dead up. I didn't tell Joe and Richard all this, but when I sort of walked away, I said, oh, I better get a voodoo doll. You know, and I know it sounds funny, but I don't raise the dead up. I'm just there to listen to the stories, to communicate with these people, to know the histories, and keep the memories alive. That's what it's all about. It's a passion.
Fantastic.
You know.
So, on a bit of a lighter note now, and a brighter note, is there anywhere that you would love to? It could be anywhere, wherever you want to go, whatever place it is, whether it's here, across the pond, or wherever. Is there any place that you would really like to get your mediumship, your ability across? You know, is there one particular place that you'd say, I'd love to go there, I'd love to do an investigation there and use my mediumship for that? What would be your favourite place, or is there a favourite place? And is there a place that you wouldn't go to?
I think one of my favourite places would be, there's not many left of them now because most of them are derelict or they're not standing anymore, but I would definitely love to have gone into an asylum, because I'd want to hear these people's stories. And people might ask me, well, why would you want to do that? Because a lot of these people back then went through terrible, terrible stuff. You know, I mean, let's look at on that side of it with the asylums. We had Auschwitz, we knew about that and the atrocities, but we forget about what happened in the asylums because that's masked it over.
Yeah.
But let's look at the asylums. Some of these people were normal when they went in, but they were used for experiments. They had electrodes on their heads, they were chained to a bed, you know. In some cases that I've read, that some of them even had their ankles broken
That's so
with a hammer. You know, and we've got to think about that. And they're the places that are closer to my heart, because I want to hear these people's stories. I want to say, look, we're not all like that, you know, because these people have been forgotten in a way. And I've seen them on YouTube when people have gone to these asylums, and the way people have trashed the place and all that. That's disrespectful. These places should be remembered for the tragic loss of people.
Absolutely.
You know, and one of my places close to my heart is a place in Northampton, the asylum there, St Crispin's. I don't know what it is about that place, but I always think about that quite a lot, because it's very close to my heart, because I worked there for a while, and I've seen what it was like.
You can check out on Google St Crispin's, but you won't be able to do an investigation because it's now a property development. The only thing they have got left there is the tower, but that is more like a memorial. So, you know, look it up on Google and search for it. It's St Crispin's in Northampton, and you'll get the history, you'll get the photos and everything. But you know, you can't go there now because we've gone and checked it out, and it's all housing development. So, yeah. So carry on then.
And I know people say as well about, what do you think of these developers when they take out these buildings like that and they build flats on them, or they use half of the buildings as new builds? I don't like the idea, because to me, this is where tragic happened. This is where crime, I would say, happened. And that. And these people who committed these atrocities never got dealt with in the proper manner. And I don't believe that these asylums should be used for new builds or anything.
Do you think, touching up on that, do you think that the residual energy would still be there because people move into a new build that's on the site? And, you know, do you think it annoys the spirits? Is this why some of these new builds have activity?
Yeah, I think it would. I mean, like you said, at St Crispin's, half of that building at St Crispin's was turned into flats. Yeah, okay, you've done that, but you've done that for the profit, but you've not done it for what the reason is behind it.
Yeah.
And you've basically walked over those memories, you know, and I don't wish this on anything, but I hope the place is haunted. I hope you do suffer in that sense, because what you've done is disgusting, you know.
Yeah.
To me, with all these asylums, they should have been wiped off the map completely to the ground and made into massive gardens as memorial gardens, you know, places of peace, right, and places that you should never forget, you know. What did they do with Auschwitz? They never flattened that, did they? Turn it into brand new flats. This is what we should have done with the asylums, and that annoys me more than anything as a medium, because there was history in them places. Like Joe's favourite place, Annesley, the castle.
That's my home.
She
That
thinks
is
it
my
is.
home. It is my home. Yeah, well, okay then. So, on that note, who is, apart from me, who is your favourite paranormal investigator? Who would you like to work with if you had the chance to?
Well, actually, it wouldn't be an investigator, but the guy has passed away now. But one of them would have been Derek Okora.
Oh, bless him.
I know what people might say about Derek, but at the end of the day, if you look back on Most Haunted and what they did to him was disgusting. Derek was very, very good at what he did. And the other two that I would have loved to have met and worked with, even though they're from America, would have been Lorraine and Ed Warren. I think they were amazing people, you know, and they really did pioneer in the paranormal world.
Well, their legacy still lives on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can. I'd love to go to. I think it's in Tennessee. I think that's
Yeah.
where it's called the Conjuring House.
Yeah.
Because it's where one of the daughters lived, and Ed and Lorraine did an investigation there. And I think next door now, I think it's the grandson that's got the museum.
Yeah.
It's got the famous Annabelle in it, the raggedy Annabelle, not the Annabelle that you've seen in movies and stuff like that. And I think mediums all round should have more credibility, and they should be more accepted in the spirit world. So, yeah, on that note, I'd like to say thank you for me interviewing you.
It's been a good interview, thank you so much.
We are in a cemetery, and we will be doing an investigation here shortly. But yeah, on that note, thank you very much.
I'd like to also say thank you to all the people on the group for the support they've given me as a medium. You know, not one of you has dissed me for what I am.
Well, why would we?
And I think, you know, I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, and also, Donna, I am not retiring. I will tell you that live.
He won't retire, guys, I'll make sure of that. But yeah, so on that note, thanks for joining us, and stay safe, happy hunting, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Bye.
Yeah, bye.